Hi, Andrew here, and I want you to describe yourself. Pause the video and say out loud, I am, and then fill in the blank. I had a very interesting conversation yesterday. It was was free ice cream day. Now, I don't eat ice cream. I used to, but since I made this switch to intermittent fasting and not eating after 7 p.m., that combined with a lot of years of hard yoga changing my diet, I don't eat crap. It's not that I don't like it. I do, but I don't like having eaten it. The effect on my system is terrible. We went apple picking this past weekend, my wifey and the boys and I. And in the shop at the front of the orchard, they had cider and various apple treats, pies, donuts, blah, 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 blah. And wifey bought a half dozen apple donuts. And we had our dinner and we went home and we warmed up the cider and we shared the donuts out amongst the five of us. And it was a lovely treat. And I enjoyed it while I was eating it. And regretted it for the rest of the night. I had a terrible night's sleep on Sunday. All that sugar floating around my system. I just don't do it anymore. And because I don't do it anymore, I'm literally in the position of the personal trainer who had to live with the Bundys for a week in the first year of Married with Children. He spent the week living on the garbage that Peggy Bundy eats. And he got fat and had a heart attack and died. And Al pretty much said that's because was such a fine-tuned machine, his body couldn't take the garbage that the average American survives on. Well, I can't eat crap. If wifey and I go out for dinner, if we have any appetite for dessert, we have to split one because an entire dessert, same thing happens to me. Anyway, where is this all going? Free ice cream day at work. And one of my buddies at work, Ewan, comes around. I was going to the kitchen to boil water for my tea. And he asked me if I was going out for ice cream and a chat. And I said, well, I wasn't planning to, but sure, I'll come on out. And we were on our way out, and he says, you don't usually come to these sorts of things. And we got to discussing a former coworker who was the opposite of me. He went and did all of the social things. And I said, well, yeah, I know, but I mean, basically I'm an antisocial bastard. And he looks at me and he says in his fairly thick Scottish accent, no, you're not. You're out here talking. And there's one thing there are many things I love about Scottish people. I mean, there's a great deal of Scottish in my ancestry, not least of which is the accent. I absolutely adore the Scottish accent. But one thing I do really like about them is that they're a no bullshit people. And he decided I was full of crap, and he yanked me up short. He says, you're not antisocial. And, you know, and I said, you know what? You're right. I have been working with my middle boy on his self-talk because he has this terrible tendency to say, I suck at, and then fill in the blank, whatever it is. And he's been doing this for a number of years because he's comparing himself to his 3 years older brother. And it's normally about athletic endeavors. He's a decent athlete. His older brother is a pretty good natural athlete, though. So between the extra years and a little bit of extra ability, he's always behind. Or he'll say, I suck at chess, because his older brother has 3 extra years of learning and studying the game and can beat him at will. What I've been doing is trying to convince him, I've been working on his self-talk, that no, you have to replace the words I suck at with I need work on. I suck at hitting. No, you need work on hitting. I suck at throwing. No, you need practice at throwing. I'm terrible at chess. No, you need to play more chess games. Go back to what I asked. How do you describe yourself? And I described myself as an antisocial bastard. And Ewan yanked me up short. I'm not the most social person. I'm sociable, but I don't actively seek out the company of most people. But I'm not a genuine misanthropic recluse. Well, but here's the deal. Those words that you use to describe yourself, they're magic, literal black magic, or white magic. Who wrote the Four Agreements? I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But the Four Agreements, the author of the Four Agreements literally talks about words as magic. Neurological programming, the words you use program your thoughts. So if, like my middle boy, you're constantly, I suck at, I'm terrible at. Well, I had a karate teacher who used to say, if you say you can or cannot, either way you've spoken the truth. And it's true. So if I define myself in my words as antisocial, I will be that. So let's return one final time. How did you describe yourself? You say, I am. Describe yourself. Describe yourself in positive terms. If I describe myself as a clinical depressive, I'm feeding it. If I describe myself as a man learning to control his mental health issues, it's a completely different spin but saying the same thing. It's a different way of looking at it. Have I talked about how you look at things determines what they are? So, self-talk. Identity. Define yourself in positive terms. And remind me, you can always drop a comment, remind me to do the same. Thank you very much for watching. That was my time. Now it's your time. And in the meantime, take care, and you'll see me soon.